Planet Fast Pitch is a place that was built around a dream and a belief and conviction and a sketch in a notebook in my junior year in high school, sitting in my American Studies class. And I apologize to Mr. Comets because he was a great teacher, but I found myself quite often in that class dreaming about my future. And because my two professors in that class really promoted that type of thinking, and I sat and I drew several things. I drew my college uniform, and the team was yet to be determined. I had several teams that I would doodle down, and my number on the back and my name on the jersey. And the other thing that I used to draw was a building, looking almost something like what I have today, with batting cages and a place to work out and a pro shop and energy. And I just remember sketching happy people walking through the door. And this was at a time that there was nothing like that. The only thing that we can go to would be maybe college camps and clinics that would happen maybe once every so many months or once in the summer, and I treasured going to those. Those were the game changers for me because I love the enthusiasm of the college athletes. I love the support from the coaches. I love to learn, and I know as a pitcher versus being a position player, as a pitcher I struggled. I didn't understand exactly what I was supposed to be doing, and not by any fault of anyone who helped me, because I had great coaches, but at the time there were things and mythologies that we taught in pitching, and I would go super hard at it and didn't get or feel, I should say, the athletic results that I had intended. And it bothered me. I could do other things pretty well, but when it came to pitching I didn't get it. And I went to camps, and I was so influenced by people, and I would go to just several a year and work so hard at what they gave to me. And as I went to college, again, the dream of owning facility was so far-fetched, and no one talked about it. There weren't, classes that talked about ownership or construction of these things. And I kept in the back of my mind, and I always kept those doodles. And I was fortunate enough to land into a university at Rutgers University that had an exercise science and sport management department, and that was the first time I was able to take some classes and really understand that my passion was going this way. And I got out of school. I did a master's in business administration at the University of Rhode Island, which really helped me because I got my feet in the coaching world, and I started to manage higher level athletes. I started to be in the bubble of some great coaches that became my influencers along the way, and I got that business degree, which was critical. Even though I'm working for myself, I still have to manage a company. I have to get mortgages and get approvals on many things, from the Conservation Commission to the Small Business Association. So that academic background helped me so very much. But one of the main players that came along in my life, along with my coaches early on, to form me into the person I am today, his name's Eric Simonson, and I was very fortunate to become the coach of his daughter, Cara, and we had a great career together. And Eric and his wife, Sue, came forward to me and said, we want to pay this sport forward. We love softball. We love what it's done for both of our daughters, Anna and Cara, and we want to make it live through you. And we know that if we help you get started, you'll pay it forward, and you'll teach 100 kids who can go out and reach 1,000 more. And at the moment I didn't get it. I only saw the immediate, 10 or 20 people. But 15 years later, I look and I realize that Sue and Eric's dream has completely come true. Teaching student athletes and developing a sense of champion and a sense of ownership and accountability and passion and the tools to teach young kids and to be their mentors. It's grown exponentially, and the master plan has really taken charge. And for that, and for the business guidance that Eric had given me, he's a mastermind in our country, in our business world. And I was so lucky that he spent so much time with me, you know, right down to the quarter, right down to the, you know, $1.25 early on. Those numbers mattered, and he taught me the basic things of just, you have to run a good solid company, and, you know, cash in, cash out, pay the bills, don't go into debt, work really, really hard, do things yourself, you know, build Planet Fast Pitch yourself, go to Home Depot, buy the boards, buy the paint, do it yourself, and work hard, and it will pay off. And he was so right, and I thank them every day. They now live pretty far away. They live in Utah, and I'll tell you, every time I walk in the door, I'm so thankful for their influence and what it's done for so many thousands of kids that have never even met them. So since then, my first facility started in Johnston, Rhode Island, and it was a very, very small place. It was 3,200 square feet. So for those of you who are good in the math department, it was 40 by 80. So the interior of the building was actually 39 by 78 because it's smaller. And I was able to fit a pitching lane and a batting cage that opened and shut, and it worked, and it got me started. And then I came here to Uxbridge and grew into half of the building at first. I rented it, and then I built onto the other half. And then I said, let's try to buy this thing, because it's so big and I want it to be mine for the rest of my life. I want to make that commitment to the student athletes, and I want this place to just prosper and grow for years to come. So that's been my history of the business, and where I come from, and where I go with it, you know, who knows. But I do have some plans. I have some plans of expansion on the current location in a way that I think could really bring a new light to how we play and how we practice and how we assess and how we can video. So that's on the horizon. And again, just keeping a facility that the girls can be proud of. I know when our kids come through the door that they know this is home. They treat it probably better than they treat their own bedrooms. They appreciate being here, and I hope they know that every single screw that was put into the wall and every single gallon of paint was brought here in a small trailer with my own hands, and was built as I could afford it. And I think that's how the pitching motion should be built. I think that's how the hitting motion can be built, you know, in small bite-sized chewable pieces that build and strengthen over time and grow to a magical thing if you stay committed to the small things. And, you know, again, it's 15 years later, and, you know, and here we are at PFP. We're PFP proud. I'm so thankful for the mission and the life's work that I have had the opportunity to do, and the future that's ahead of me.